Welcome, fans, to the first edition of Manila Sentinel for the year 2025. Now, it's officially the first week of January, and even though I did my season finale, I still feel like there's a few more things that I'd like to talk about, but mostly it's more of how should I say, the urban bushcrafting thing or stuff that's related to survival and readiness. A few days ago, I was looking online for a few tips and tricks on how to use the button compass, and somehow what I found was, for me, not that satisfactory. Probably the best use of the button compass was illustrated by Andrew of Ranger Bushcraft and Survival. And even with his clear explanation and illustrations on how to use the button compass for accurate navigation, I felt like it was still too sophisticated for the common person who doesn't have access to military style protractor and all that good stuff. Now, from my experience, using a button compass isn't that complicated. And when using a button compass, the most you can expect out of it would be to come as close as 100 meters of your chosen waypoint or whatever it is that you were trying to get to. Now, in this episode, I'd like to show you at least two simple methods on how to use this tiny button compass. Now, most commercially available survival kits will have some sort of a button compass. Now, this particular model is an old US Air Force model which dates back to 1973. So, this thing is more than 50 years old and it still works. Now, maybe one thing that gives it its longevity is that this particular compass is a free floating magnetic compass. Unlike modern versions which will come in oil filled, I find that free floating compasses are much more resilient because after a while some of those oil filled compasses will dry up and not work when you need them to. In the videos I've seen of survival kits, people just mention the fact that the kit includes a button compass, but there's hardly any material out there to show you how to use that particular device. Now, normally, the way to use a compass is to find the direction that you need to go to, align your north magnetic arrow to the shed or putting your red in the shed or dog in the doghouse, and following that particular bearing that you've set on your base plate compass bezel. So it's as simple as that. But button compasses are a little more empirical, I should say. They only give you at the most four cardinal directions: north, south, east, and west. And there's hardly any way to plot a more accurate route on that particular compass. In the methods that I will show you, we will use two simple things. One is the improvised direction card, or what I call the nav card, that I fabricated from a recycled piece of cardboard, and your thumb. Just like when using the base plate compass, all you really need to do with the card method is stand squarely to the particular target or object in your line of sight, point the card directly to that object, and with very minimal movement, place your button compass on the card and align your north arrow and mark it specifically with a pencil or any non-magnetic object, because obviously if you use like a ballpoint pen, even a ballpoint pen would throw off the needle quite a bit. So use a pencil or any non-metallic object to score a mark on the card. As you can see in comparison, the mark that we put on the nav card would be fairly close to the bearing that we've set on our base plate compass. But what if you had nothing else to go with? No card, no paper, but you still had your button compass and just your hands? The method I devised is simple. You simply make some sort of a rear sight, extend your arms out with your thumbs pointed at that particular waypoint that you need to get to, and then place your button compass on your hand, marking the north orientation with a sharpie. And where your thumb points is simply the general direction in which you have to go. So even if you shifted your position, all you needed to do was find that magnetic north index and follow the direction that your thumb or the navigation card points to. So mind you that these methods are not that precise, but at least they will get you to within, I would say, 100 meters of the particular area that you need to get to, or that particular point that you need to get to. In this case, we're using a condominium building in the distance. And with an object or a structure of that size, I doubt that you won't have it in your line of sight within a 100-meter radius. So the methods that I've shown you are not particularly precise or accurate, but they will at least enable you to walk in a straight line and not wander off course. And that's my short video presentation for the first installment in 2025. I hope to do more skills-based videos like this in the coming episodes. I'd also like to do an update on my everyday carry system for at least the month of January or for the first part of this year. And again, I'd like to thank all of the subscribers. We have a whopping 703 as of this recording. And I'd like to thank all of you who've been supporting the channel and those of you who have been interacting with me in the comment section. I hope to see more of you guys in future episodes. And anyway, that's been the long and the short of it. This has been Absabando for Manila Sentinel Raw. Don't get lost.